Hello everybody, my name is Anna and welcome to my channel, Anna Always Reading. Today, I'm going to be talking about something that most people want to do in life. If you love books, if you have a book to read for class, if you just want to read faster, I'm going to be giving you guys 5 tips, 5 super duper easy tips that you can use in your life to read books faster. I personally am a pretty fast reader. Sometimes I get into reading slumps, but overall, I'm able to finish books pretty quickly. It's always been something I've been able to do. I don't know why, but if you're not naturally able to read fast, it's probably pretty hard for you, pretty unimaginable for you to understand how somebody can finish a book in a day, let alone a book in a week. But today I'm going to help you out. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how you can read faster. So let's get into them. Number 1, read more often. Oftentimes people are always using their technology. They're using their phones, their laptops, computers, TV, etc. I'm not dissing technology. I love my phone. I'm currently using my phone to film this video. If I didn't have my phone, I wouldn't be able to do a lot of things that I love doing. But what I think is important is that you're able to put down the devices that you use and you're able to pick up a book. On your daily commute to and from work, if you sit in a car or if you take a school bus or public transit, you're able to pull out a book and read on that ride. It makes the ride a lot more enjoyable. It makes it go by a lot faster, and you're also spending your time doing something interesting. If you drive and you're not able to read while you drive, you can listen to an audiobook instead of listening to, I don't know, some pop song that you've heard 1,000 times on the radio. Reading more often, you may not feel like it, but you're actually going through a book a lot faster if you read it more. Doesn't that make sense? Number 2 is read many books at once. A lot of people can't understand how I read up to 3 or 4 books at a time. But what I do is I listen to audiobooks, I read ebooks, and I read a physical book. Pretty much at all times I'm doing all 3 of those things. I do those things because sometimes I'm not in the mood for a physical book. Because these things, they can be pretty heavy. Putting them in your bag, sometimes they don't fit, and carrying them around for the whole day, that can be pretty stressful. What if your book gets a dent? What I am able to do is I can download audiobooks and ebooks onto my phone and listen to them along the day. Sometimes when I'm doing chores, I listen to an audiobook, or I read an ebook when I'm in the mood for an ebook, Sometimes bringing a physical book along with you isn't the most appropriate thing to do depending on where you're going. So having your little phone in your pocket carrying thousands of pages can make life a lot easier. When you're reading a lot of books at once, you can switch back and forth if you get tired of a book, if you're not feeling it at that time, so you don't completely stop reading in general. You're still always reading, but you're just not reading that certain book. That's just... Number 3 is read what you want to read. This may seem like a no-brainer to some people, but I know a lot of books can get a lot of hype. And sometimes I'm guilty of this as well. You pick up books that you don't really want to read, but you're reading them because everybody else is reading them. That happened with me for the book Cinder. I read the summary. I didn't really want to read it. I listened to the audiobook. It was okay. And then for some reason, I read the second book. One of the worst decisions of my entire life. I hated Scarlet with every fiber of my being. I remember reading the ebook. I'm having flashbacks right now just thinking about it. On the bus to school, and I was just flipping the pages. I was like, I don't care what's happening. I don't care. Let me finish this book. Because by the time I realized that I hated it, I was 3/4 into the book. But the last quarter of the book was the worst experience of my whole entire existence. I couldn't DNF it. It was too close to the end. But I could barely read it. So, if you don't want to read a book, but everybody else is reading it, don't do it. Don't do it. You're gonna regret it with your whole body. But if you have to read a book for school, I'm sorry, you just skip this step and go to step 4. Set goals for yourself. I am a goal setter, and I think that setting goals is one of the most important things a person can do. My reading challenge for this year set on Goodreads.com, which is also something very helpful. I use Goodreads to set goals for myself for books. This year I pledged to read 100 books. On Goodreads you can set you can pledge to read X amount of books in a year. And I feel like having Goodreads along with you helps me a lot because it tells me if I'm on track, if I'm behind. Currently, I'm behind by 22 books because I read nothing this summer. You can check out my summer reading wrap-up. But yeah, I need to get on that. But last but not least, stay focused. As I said in number 1, we're always using our devices, but we need to also focus on other things like books. So if you're going to read, remember to be in a focused mindset. Make sure you don't have anything else to do. Make sure there's not really any distractions like your phone. Make sure you turn your phone off or put on do not disturb. Make sure if you're reading an ebook you have do not disturb, because you know I'm always checking my notifications. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? No, stay focused on the book you're reading, you know? And with those simple tips, I promise you, if you actually follow those tips and use them to the best of your abilities, you'll be able to read faster. Because that's what I do every single time I pick up a book. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, remember to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see my face every time I post a video, remember to subscribe. All my social medias will be in the down bar below. If you have any tips on how to read faster, leave them in the comment section down below. If you think any of these tips will help you, tell me about it in the comment section. Remember, reading today, reading tomorrow, reading fivever. Bye!